Cervical resisted test. What position should we test this in? Mid-range. So this is something where, once again, we're looking for gross strength. Do I expect that we're going to actually have a strength deficit to these things? No. We care more about pain and we care about a gross asymmetry. So you're going to look more for compensations rather than, oh, can I actually break them? Sounds scary. So you are doing selective tissue tension test. The resistance tests were in the lengthened range. That's what I just showed you. Now you can do mid-range too. What I like to do for this is just do an isometric right here. So I stabilize the shoulder blades. I want you to not let me move your head, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to push back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't push you forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't push you to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Powerful fingers. Don't let me turn you to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So even with a little pressure, you do have a little bit of a give. You don't like to hold it for too long. I would love to have a mirror in front to be able to see if you have global compensations, your big muscles versus your little muscles, or if to try to stabilize me, you do one of these. I would need a mirror to see that. Can you do this in the front? Absolutely you can. I just like to be able to stabilize the thoracic spine, which I find that very easy to do in that position.
So what you just did, that's STTT as well?
No, that's your resisted test.
Oh, just the slide,
Whoop.
got it.
Whoops.
Gross.
Sorry, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I didn't have the right slide up.
Ooh.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, this one,
So in terms of selective tissue tension test, what range?
Mid.
Lengthen. What information?
Is it contractile or non-contractile?
Pain. Yes.
Thank you.
Gross strength. Tested in what range? Mid. What information?
Asymmetry.
Strength. Gross asymmetries, compensations.
Pain.
You can have pain associated with it.
But just for food for thought as you move forward.
And if you want to tie those together into one lump sum, you can. I think, though, that it depends on what you like to do. So just, what does that mean?
I like it.
Look, if you're the person who likes to just be here and do it like this, down towards your chest, good. Take your overpressure, good. Come back a little bit. Good, don't let me push you any further. No, sorry, don't let me push you any further. Good. Now come up a little more. Hold it there. Hold, hold, hold. That's how you would combine flexion, active, passive, resisted, STTT plus resisted. That's how you would do it. I like to keep it at the end because I like to do this. Sorry, got you there. That's preference. I do not care what you do as long as you know why you're doing it and the information that you get out of it. Does that sound savvy with everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever you want. All I care is if this person is compensating because you're not stabilizing, that's what I care about. If you want to do active, passive, resisted, and then do it in a different range after, wonderful. I do it because I find it's easier to stabilize.
Did you just show retraction and protrusion for like all of them again? Like gross strength and STTT? Just one more time.
Okay, so for STTT, bring your chin in. Good. Overpressure. Then you're going to, now that's for your flexors, so now you want to test your extensors. So now don't let me push you forward. So now I'm in the back of her head,
Right.
because now I'm trying to get her extensors to fire. Now let's say it is time for resisted test flexors. Now go back in this position, take your finger pad, the back of your fingers, come under here, and I'm going to try to pull her into upper cervical extension, so she needs to flex me. Now we're going to look into upper cervical extension, so now she's going to look up towards the light. It's at a 45-degree angle, where she pokes her head forward a little bit. Now we're going to, you don't need to do overpressure for this one. because of the position that it's in. And so now we're in the lengthened range, so I'm gonna push her towards flexion. Good, don't let me pull you any further into extension, and that's it. And then for neutral resisted, now it would be me trying to push her head this way. Don't let me. Good, and that's her extensors, trying to push back.
That's messy.
What?
Yeah,
Let's
it's
just
just
confuse
gotta
it.
process it.
Another thought, in terms of you know how you were going from STT to gross strength
Strength.
screen.
Yep.
What is a good not technique, but a good way to kind of, instead of writing down the measurements as you go, to kind of just fly through them, and then, like, is there any, like, for you, any preference on how you take note of things? Do you just do it all by memory, or do you sit down and write?
I do by memory and by practice. The chances of you having all these problems are slim to none. So you expect that there's going to be usually a problem with rotation and or sagittal plane flexion. The most common one is going to be this, because your flexors can't control it. And then if you try to rotate, you're usually going to compensate by trying to side bend or poke out. And so you just take note of those compensations. So it's not like I'm expecting to break, you know, in terms of an isometric break. I'm not going to break her. It's the head, and I'm not putting enough pressure. But I'm looking for global muscle activation, and then just pick the direction and take note of it. But it is just memory. But they sort of go hand in hand with each other. You're not going to have like flexion of one and right side bending of the other, and then left rotation. You know, those wouldn't make sense. So they're going to all play with each other. But unfortunately, it's just practice and repetition.
For protrusion, do the extensors work to protrude your neck forward? And like for retraction, the flexors?
It is a combination of upper and lower working. So if you protrude, it means your flexors, your deep neck flexors, aren't doing their job.
Right.
So it is going to be your suboccipitals,
Yeah,
because they're the extensors
of the upper cervical.
of the upper cervical,
Mhm.
weakening of the longest colli, longest capitis.
Mhm.
It's going to be lengthening of the lower, not lengthening, it's going to be tensioning of the lower cervical as well, because they're going to be
Okay.
pulling.
Okay.
Don't get it too much into specifics when it comes to that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like the STTT, like what's.
You're not going to
Reattesting
have a
stuff.
contractile lesion,
Okay.
so don't expect a muscle strain. Don't expect to be able to pick out, yep, it's that muscle.
Okay.
You're looking for broad asymmetries. That's it.
Cool.
When it comes to the neck, the only muscles that you're really going to focus on are longest colli and longest capitis are going to be long and weak.
Mhm.
Chances are levator, scalene's one of those. They're going to be hypertonic, pulling you in a certain direction, and it leads to this.
Okay.
Or it leads to a block, so you can't turn and side bend. That's where the coupling motion comes in. You're not going to have a spinalis strain.
Mhm. Alright.
What was your question, Barney? You good? All right. You guys ready to practice that?
Mhm.